Hello all, welcome back. Today let's discuss one of the most important things, if not the most important thing while planning your finances. Most of us neglect this part. It is ensuring yourself and your family against adversities. First thing to be considered while planning your finances is insurance. Because if you are not insured sufficiently, then these two things are certain. One, the medical costs during a hospitalization will puncture your long-term savings, or sometimes it can put you in debt also. Because the medical costs these days are so high, and after this pandemic I think most of us would have experienced how expensive these medical costs are, and these costs are only going to go up in future and would catch up with the medical costs of developed nations, which are extremely high. Second thing, in case of an unfortunate event like death or disability, then the whole family is at stake. Like all the people who are dependent on you are at stake, because up to a certain point of time in life, the whole family is dependent on the breadwinner in the sense the head of the family. So if the head of the family is not insured sufficiently, and if something happens to him or her, then whole family would be struggling, because it would be tough for them to take care of their financial needs like educational expenses, medical costs, livelihood, and etc. So definitely insurance is a must and common thing to everyone, young or old, rich or poor, man or woman. Now let's discuss about the most important ones, the most important insurance which we should be having. Basically, there are two kinds of insurance which we should be definitely having. There are so many other kinds as well, but these two are the most important ones which are associated with human life. One, health insurance. Two, life insurance. Health insurance covers the medical expenses during any illness or any hospitalization during an accident. Life insurance provides financial security to the insured's family in case of an unfortunate event like death or disability of the insured. In this video, let's discuss completely about health insurance, like all the coverages, exclusions, terms and conditions, and all other details. Earlier, we have said that health insurance takes care of medical expenses during an hospitalization. So, what all it covers? First thing is room rent expenses. So, whenever you are admitted to hospital, you'll be put in a room. So, there'll be charge for it. So, it's called room rent expenses. Health insurance covers room rent expenses. Second thing, medical practitioner fee. Like whoever the doctor is treating you, he'll be charging certain amount. Like he'll be charging it from the hospital. So, that portion is charged from us. So, even that is covered. Next thing is medicines, surgical items, scans, tests, like all these things are required during hospitalization. So even all these things are also covered. Next thing, pre and post hospitalization expenses. So you will not only incur expenses during the hospitalization process, but you would also incur some expenses before the hospitalization process, which is called pre-hospitalization, and after the hospitalization, which is called post-hospitalization. Like in case you are admitted with some illness to the hospital, so even before getting admitted to the hospital, you would have taken some scans, medicines, or you could have consulted your local doctor. So even all those things are covered once you get admitted. And next thing is post hospitalization. So even after you getting discharged, you will be taking some medicines, or you will be going to some scans. So some scans tests are required even after hospitalization. So that's called post hospitalization. So up to usually 60 days pre-hospitalization and 90 days post-hospitalization, whatever you incur expenses during this time frame, like 60 days before hospitalization, 90 days after hospitalization, even those things are covered. Next thing, ambulance cost. So if you take an ambulance to the hospital, even that ambulance cost is covered. Next thing is ICU charges. In case ICU is required, then even those charges are covered. So these are the major coverages in a health insurance policy, and other minor things are also covered, and what is not covered we'll be seeing it in the exclusions part. Before we look at the exclusions, let's look at two important things. First thing, when does a health insurance come into picture? A health insurance comes into picture when you get admitted for 24 hours at least. So if you are getting admitted for 24 hours or more, then health insurance pays the medical costs. Otherwise, health insurance doesn't come into picture at all. Like for your regular doctor visits, in case of fever, cold, all these things doesn't require admission, and these are called OPD. So these things are not covered under health insurance. Or if you are getting admitted only for 1 hour or 2 hours, even those things are also not covered. So the thing to remember here is you have to get admitted for at least 24 hours. Okay, we have understood what health insurance covers. Up to what limit does it cover? Does it cover up to 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs? The limit up to which it covers is called sum insured, and this sum insured has to be chosen by the insured. Suppose you are choosing 5 lakh sum insured, and in case of any hospitalization, medical costs up to 5 lakhs is borne by the insurer. So if you are choosing 10 lakhs, up to 10 lakhs it's borne by the insurer. Suppose you are choosing 5 lakhs sum insured, and in case of some hospitalization, the medical cost is 6 lakhs. So the initial 5 lakhs will be paid by the insurer, and the rest 1 lakh, remaining 1 lakh has to be borne by you. So if you are choosing 10 lakhs, then even the whole 6 lakhs would have been paid by the insurer. So while choosing sum insured, you have to be very cautious. You have to choose the right sum insured, whichever is sufficient. Now let's look at the exclusions. The first exclusion in a health insurance policy would be pre-existing diseases. Pre-existing diseases means any disease which exists before the commencement of policy. Suppose you are taking a policy today and you have some pre-existing disease, like you already have some diseases, say you have got thyroid. So any hospitalization because of thyroid will not be covered for certain period. It is usually 48 months, 4 years. So all pre-existing diseases are not covered for first 4 years. Some insurers have it as 36 months, that is 3 years. Generally it is 4 years. So after 4 years, your pre-existing disease will be covered. Till then, any hospitalization because of this pre-existing disease would not be covered. Also, we have waiting periods like 1 year waiting period, 2 year, 3 year and 4 year waiting periods. Like specific diseases are not covered for first year, in the first year. Few are not covered for first 2 years. Few not covered in first 3 years. Few not covered in first 4 years. So there is a list of diseases which are not covered in the initial years. So you have to go through, while taking a policy, you have to go through all those diseases. Example, cataract. Cataract is not covered for first 2 years. Next exclusion is maternity. Usually maternity is an exclusion under health insurance policy, but there are few policies which cover maternity also, and maternity can be taken as an add-on while by paying extra premium. Next exclusion is sexually transmitted diseases. These are called STDs. Example, HIV, AIDS. So all these STDs are not covered under health insurance policy. They are not covered under any health insurance policy. These are general exclusion. Next exclusion is dental expenses. So any expense related to dental, like root canal, teeth extraction, or braces for your teeth, all these things are not covered under health insurance policy. But the point to remember here is, if any of these things are required because of an accident, like somebody meets with an accident, then they require some dental surgery, then it is covered. Another important point to remember is first 30 days exclusion. Like in first 30 days, any disease or illness is not covered. Like this is the first time you're taking health insurance policy, the initial 30 days is not covered. But if you get hospitalized because of an accident, then it is covered from day one. But other diseases or illness are not covered for first 30 days. Then from 31st day, all the diseases are covered. This 30 days exclusion is applicable only to the fresh policies. Like you're taking it for the first time, then this 30 days exclusion is there. While renewing it, this doesn't apply. Now that we have seen coverages, exclusions, let's look at few important things while taking an insurance policy. First thing is that have enough sum insured. Like we have already discussed, if you don't have enough sum insured, so whatever is the additional expense, that has to be borne by you. Suppose you have only 5 lakhs sum insured. If the medical cost is above 5 lakhs, like hospitalization expenses are around 6 or 7 lakhs, the remaining 1-2 lakhs have to be paid by you. So you need to have enough sum insured. Second important thing is choose a company with high claim settlement ratio. So whichever company is paying high claims, you have to go for those companies. So you'll get details of this thing in the internet, like what is the claim settlement ratio of particular company. And I will also be coming up with a video exclusively about claim settlement ratio. So as of now, you can just Google it for like what is the claim settlement ratio of a particular company and decide whether to go for that company or not. Next thing is you have to choose an insurer with high network hospitals. Like all these insurers are tied up with hospitals. So an insurer with highest number of network hospitals will be most beneficial to you. So how does this benefit us is, like suppose you get admitted in a hospital. So if that is a network hospital, then everything is cashless. Like you need not pay a single penny. So everything will be directly covered by the insurance. In case if that's not a network hospital, so you are going to a hospital which is out of that insurer network, then you have to pay the amount, like all the medical costs you have to be paid by you initially. Then once you get discharged, then you need to reimburse it. Like you need to apply for a reimbursement, then get back the money. So this is the difference. In case of a network hospitals, it's cashless. Everything will be borne directly by the insurer. In case of a non-network hospitals, you have to first pay the amount, then get it reimbursed. Next thing is you have to go for an insurance with no limits, like no capping. Initially under coverages, we have seen insurance policy covers room rent expenses, medical practitioner fees, medicines, all other things, etc., right? Ambulance charges, ICU charges, all those things. But there are few insurance policies which have capping. Like a policy says it covers only up to 2000 rupees per day in case of room rent expenses. So if you are going to a hospital where room rent expenses are more than 2000, then if it say if it is 3000, then additional 1000 has to be borne by you. So 1000 per day have to be paid by you, 2000 will be paid by the insurer. So that capping shouldn't be there. So whatever is the cost of the room, it might be 1k or 10k, it has to be borne by the insurance. So there shouldn't be any capping. Like medical practitioner fees, it says it pays only 25000, or it pays only 10,000 per day. So all those cappings, if you're going for insurance with all those cappings, then finally if amount is around 1 lakh or 2 lakhs, then around maybe 60-70% will be paid by the insurer, and remaining 30-40% will be paid by you. So in case you are going for no capping, like if there are no any limits in the policy, then everything will be borne by the insurer. Finally, the most important thing is health insurance is a annual policy, like it's a yearly contract. So you have to get it renewed every year. So never discontinue your health policy, because like we have already told, there are 1 year exclusions, 2 year exclusions, 3 year exclusions. So if you are discontinuing it any year, then you have to start fresh. Like again, you'll have 1 year exclusion, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year exclusions. Otherwise, if you continue it for first 4 years, then everything is covered. Like what we have said is, there are exclusions only up to 4 years. After 4 years, there are no any exclusions. Like apart from general exclusions, there are no any specific exclusions. So if you are discontinuing with midway, then you have to start afresh, then you'll have all the exclusions. So never discontinue your health policy, keep continuing. The older you grow, the more important is health insurance for you. So we have discussed basics about health insurance, like exclusions, coverages, terms and conditions. In future videos, we'll discuss more in-depth details about health insurance. There are so many other details which you need to know about health insurance. Because all those things cannot be covered in a single video, we'll be doing it in future videos. Also, we are coming up with a video which discuss about life insurance. Health insurance is one of the most important things while planning your finances. Please do not neglect it. If you have a right health insurance, it will help you a lot in creating a greater wealth in your future. If you have got any doubts regarding basics of health insurance, kindly comment in the comment section. Also share this video to your friends. Somebody might be in need of this information. Also subscribe to our channel. More videos are coming up with related content. Thank you. See you again. Till then, happy investing.